start, being able to push the ball down the field, the off-schedule throws to Isaiah Bond and Jerry Jeudy, those are things to be lauded for. The other thing that we got to point out, only 1 sack in that game against the Raiders.
Huge.
That's big. Max Crosby, that Raiders defensive front, they can get after quarterbacks. The fact that he's not constantly retreating out of the back end of the pocket and putting himself up against it against NFL caliber pass rushers, that is a positive. Now, of course, it's going to be uneven.
Yeah.
He got fooled with the zone pressure. Sure. Charles Snowden ended up NFL start. The kind of time that they've given quarterbacks in the past, this Cleveland Browns passing game led by Shedeur Sanders could carve you up. So I'm not going to take it as a fait accompli that the San Francisco 49ers go into Cleveland and boat race the Browns.
Okay, what do you think, Stephen A?
I think balling out is a bit too extreme. I don't think we saw enough from Shedeur Sanders to say that he's ready to do that against the 49ers team, which is obviously much, much better than the Las Vegas Raiders. But what if he's just better than what we saw last weekend? I think we'll be satisfied with that. I think that would be an upgrade. I think that'll be something that can build confidence than usual. He wasn't holding on to the ball as long as he's customarily known to do. And obviously in Bond and others, he's shown that he's got some weapons, some speedsters out there that he can dip and dunk to, and they could potentially make some things happen. He missed Jerry Jeudy on a couple of occasions. I saw Jeudy over, he didn't get him the ball. But outside of that, I'm looking at him and I'm saying, you know what, against this 49ers team, that's, again, is good, but in the same breath, don't have their 2 elite guys. If he goes out there and balls and look better than he did against the Vegas Raiders, against the Las Vegas Raiders, I think that'll be a huge plus. I don't expect him to play lights out, throw for 300 or 400 yards or anything like that. But if he's in the 200-plus yard range and he's throwing the ball efficiently and not turning the ball over, I think that's a plus, and I think that's something to build on.
Yeah, listen, I fully agree. With Stephen, I think when you have these conversations about expectations on quarterback, keep them realistic, right? Like, think about Lamar Jackson just coming back and the way he's played these 3 games being banged up, right? He hasn't been like a world beater, but he's finding ways to win, right? The most important part of QB play is not giving the game away. I thought that what Shedeur did, they haven't done all season. In one game, Shedeur had the 3 largest completions in the Cleveland Browns in all their games of the season. He had a 66, a 52, and a 39-yard completion in one game. So he pushed the ball down. Now, one's a quick screen out. I get everybody's like, oh, it's a screen. Well, guess what? Stafford throws screens too. And so does Drake May. So does every other quarterback. And that's what your job is to get it to the playmakers, allow them to go make plays. But the part that you said, CC, that I loved is the sacks. And I think what I would say is a negative in college at Colorado, he was under duress. I mean, let's be honest, like, there was some days where them boys were just coming through the gates, and he was running for his life and making it. The moment for me didn't seem bigger than Shedeur Sanders in that, and that's the most important thing. He's not going to go throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns, but the expectation shouldn't be that. It's growth, right? Caleb Williams was the first pick of the draft last year and played every game. This is the dude's second start. Just look for small areas of growth, protecting the football, getting in your playmakers' hands, try to stay on time, right? Let that defense do what they can do so well, and hopefully they keep you in the game and you make it a game. But man, listen, did he absolutely light it up? No. But man, it was his first start in the NFL, and he did plenty to, earn the right to start the next week. That's the most important thing Shedeur Sanders did, is he earned the right to start again. He played better than Gabriel has. He gave the Browns a win. All of those things should be massive checks in the pros column. I just respect the way they went about it.
Quickly, you have a comment, or are you good?
Yeah, I think it's important to also note that Shedeur Sanders has put on tape the ability to be able to push the ball down the field.
Yeah.
And that's going to impact everybody on that Cleveland Browns offense. That running game with Quinshawn Judkins and Dillon Sampson and that offensive line, they'll have a chance to get a little more room to operate because defenses now have to play the Browns offense a little more honest.
Amen.
When it came to what Gabriel did over a 6-game sample size, he's throwing the ball 5.1 yards per attempt. Shedeur Sanders in this game against the Vegas Raiders, 10.4 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
He's doubling the yards per attempt in the passing game.
And explain that on the back end, what that means, so people understand what that does to DBs and the whole concept of.
Well, in its simplest terms, the team is going to keep 2 safeties back deep as opposed to 1 safety back deep.
That's right.
So you're going to have lighter boxes to run the football against. And with that hard-nosed running game, then all of a sudden you can feel some excitement about the direction that this Cleveland Browns offense is going to go in.
The one thing that we also have to bring up, the last thing that we also have to bring up is this: it really means nothing from a standpoint of, okay, this is this season, this is what this is. But since 1995, 17 different quarterbacks started for the Cleveland Browns. None of them won. Shedeur Sanders is the first to have done it. Why does that matter? Because somehow, some way, along the way, and we've talked about this with various quarterbacks throughout NBA history, that it factor, somebody else may have it when others don't. And when you look at the Cleveland Browns and their history of futility, particularly at the quarterback position, even with Kevin Stefanski, who arrived in 2020 and was now on his 13th different quarterback, you do want someone to come along and you're able to say, yo, that's the one. And that's what everybody is looking to find out about Shedeur Sanders.
Definitely. And to your point, Jeff, too, like when you talk about the rookies, Cam Ward not played great. J.J. McCarthy.
Cam Ward has looked better the month of November.
Sure, but I mean, this is comparative. This is his second.
Sanders has to do what in order for the Browns to not draft a QB in the first round this year? With one of their 2 first-round picks.
I would say, I guess, win, right? Like if you show you can win games. I think he exceeded expectations on some level on Sunday, just in terms of, he was only sacked once. Like, one of the big concerns with Shedeur is, like, he runs out of the back of the pocket when he panics, and Max Crosby over there, and the Raiders aren't good at much, but they're good at sacking quarterbacks. So the fact that he was able to hang in and not take a bunch of sacks was encouraging. He was able to throw it downfield to an extent that Dillon Gabriel hasn't shown. He seemed poised. He seemed in command. I think he's about a 5th-round pick. Versus you have 2 first-rounders next year if you have a quarterback you really love in terms of his athletic profile, in terms of what you think he can become. That's going to be more appealing than what we've seen from Shedeur Sanders so far. But he's got a chance to show more. And again, I think that he was probably better on Sunday than I think a lot of people around the situation might have expected him to be in his first NFL start.
Graz, last week you were emphatic that Joe Burrow, if he's cleared and healthy, should come back and play. Looks like he's going to be in line to start on Turkey Day against the Baltimore Ravens. What role will Joey B play in the AFC playoff picture?
If the AFC North is a mess, right? Like the Steelers and Ravens are tied for first place at 6-5. The Steelers look like they're leaking oil, and the Ravens don't look right. Like Lamar Jackson doesn't look right. You could now win this division maybe with a 9-8 record, or worse. So if the Bengals win the rest of their games,
2 against Baltimore,
that gets them 9-8. Right. Well, there's your opportunity right there. If you can beat Baltimore on Thursday night, you can say to yourself, we're still in this thing. And I think that's what he means to the playoff race. Like, the Bengals' path in is very narrow. They probably do have to win all of their remaining games and probably get some help. But they gave away the Jets game, they gave away the Bears game. That's probably where it all ended for them. But Burrow's the kind of quarterback that gives you hope where there was none before. Like, the big picture, that's what he has been for that organization. And I think little picture, that's what he is over the next 6 weeks.
You'll see Graz. He'll go from outsider to insider and analyst on SportsCenter coming up. Get up at 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as covering the Panthers and the Rams this weekend. Graz, thank you as always. We appreciate it. And thank you to Venmo for Cece telling everybody about you here.
This college football season, show your school spirit every time.